Howdy YouTube. It's been a while since I made a video, what with the house, new house, and all the blowing going on with painting and all that stuff. So I thought I'd do an update here on what's going on. Well, let's start with the garage, since that's where we're at. Well, I got my toolboxes in here. Those of you who watched some of my earlier videos will notice me standing in front of the toolbox. I'm wondering, it's a weird garage. Well, that's actually, all my tools were kept in the kitchen at the other house. I got all this construction debris to get rid of because right now the frame's sitting right outside that door. Can't bring it in because I thought, well, I'll clear this area out here. But the problem is it's too close to the washer and dryer. These darn derby cars are so long. I only give my wife 6 inches of clearance, so that wouldn't work. So as soon as I clean that mess out, I'll put it over there in front of the toolbox and we'll be done with it. As you can see, I haven't really done anything to the garage since house comes first. Plan on putting in a sink here where the welder's sitting, the old welder. Probably gonna move the wall out a little bit and put a shelf so I can have derby trophies and memorabilia and all that stuff over that wall. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Not working on any derby cars right now. Hopefully this weekend I can get this stuff moved out, get the frame in, and start getting back to welding on that. Another note, I was going to show you what this thing's kind of about. I'm going to talk about first cars. This is somebody else's photo from Photobug or something. That's the first car I drove there. That's the best photo I could find of it. My brother's 79 Dodge Diplomat. Bone stock, only removed the carpet. Still had, well, I guess it didn't have the back seat either because that's what the gas tank was, but still had the dashboard and everything else in it. Just one door bar on the back, going to the driver's side to the floor, and that was about it. Didn't even have a radiator, couldn't find a radiator in it, so did pretty good. I got 6th place, got stuck in the mud, and trying to get it out, seized the motor up. Still got 6th place. Yeah, that's no money, but for your first derby, that's pretty good. And see if I can get this thing to change pages here. This was, let's see if we can make it bigger. First car, yeah, this is my old computer. This is not the computer I use. This is the computer I started on YouTube with. 200 bucks, a long time ago. Well, this is the first car built. 84 Chevy Caprice with Cadillac emblems. Most people thought it was a Cadillac. I guess I fooled a few. Built this car when the sponsors noticed, my boss noticed how good I did in that first derby. They decided their Cadillac dealership wanted a derby car, since there's a lot of people that show up at our derbies at the state fair. So they bought this car. I went off weed crash and thought I knew what I was doing. You know, welded the bumpers on, crushed them in like they did. But then I listened to the people on there, you'll find on weed crash, that know nothing about derby cars, and over-notched it. And I actually, when they said thought creasing, I creased the inside of this trunk here. So when I went in there to beat on it here to make sure the back end went up, just beating on the trunk here and there, the back end actually went up from, it was so weak from the notches and that I listened to other people tell me what to do. So first hit, the bumper was in the back window. The car made it all 3 nights after, well, I worked at a Cadillac dealership and had a frame machine to pull it out. But yeah, when I was done, back window and back bumper was way inside the window. Tires stuck out the back. Front bumper ended up on top of the carburetor. I actually pinched a fuel line, and that's what stopped it the last night. I didn't place anywhere near the money in that one, not even 6th. And got a photo for the change. Yeah, I guess it's not gonna change to the next photo. Yeah, let's make it big again. And this is kind of what it looked like. Well, actually, technically, this is what it looked like after the first night. You notice the bumper's off. Well, when they tell you weld the shocks, that's no joke. I had welded it, the shock seam real good, but I didn't weld it to the actual bracket with the 4 holes, and it pulled the whole shock tube right out of that bracket. And that's how it ended up. I ended up cutting it off. the whole shock off and welding it directly to the frame, because it's only like if you're gonna bend it, getting it back, and end up running chains and what I could to hold the hood back on. But yeah, that's the first car. And while I'm showing you that, it just happens to be the hood to the first car I built. It'll be a wall decoration here. And that's part of what this video is about, because, you know, yeah, when you're going against old iron, that's what happens when you go against old iron with an 84 Caprice. But if you're new to this sport and you have not built a car, I do suggest an 84 Chevy Caprice. I know people are going to say a Ford Crown Vic is stronger. That's pointless. Your first Derby, you're normally going to get your butt kicked. So an 84 Caprice is a simpler car to build. A small block Chevy is more reliable, I believe, than a Ford. Only because you can go to any junkyard and pull the parts off the ground. You don't have to, you know, search for them with trying to figure out how to get the electronic ignition and all this stuff. Ford went to fuel injection a lot earlier than Chevy did, and a lot much simpler to build a Chevy. And an 84 Caprice is a good car to start with because it's soft. Yeah, it's not gonna, that's the bad thing, but the good thing is you're not going to get hurt. You know, you're going to enjoy yourself. Go out there and have fun. So that's my suggestion. You start with an 84 Chevy Caprice, and you use that to get in the sport and go out there and see what other people are building. First of all, you don't want to waste your money. Spend thousands of dollars buying the 73 GM roundback wagon, and if you don't build it right, well, you're going to waste a lot of money, because you can destroy a good car just as easy as you can destroy a bad car. So that's my suggestion. If you're going to start in the derby sport, buy something like that just so you can build it simple. Get out there. You're going to get your butt kicked, but you can at least have some fun. Focus all your energy on making sure the engine runs, you know, and safety. Put your door bars in. You know, make sure your engine's running good. Give it a good tune-up before. I suggest before you cut the mufflers off, and get your stacks run out the hood, so in case you have neighbors that complain. Plus, it's a lot easier to see and hear things if the mufflers are on the car, and you can make sure this thing's going to run. Also, so you can make sure the tranny runs. It's the best thing if you can find a car that's street legal. You can take it down the road, see how the tranny works, how the shifting, how the brakes work. And then you can worry about, you know, start with your door bars, make sure it's safe, good switches, remove all the flammable material you can from it, so you don't have to worry about catching on fire and burning. Wouldn't even worry about double stuffing tires for your first derby. Just throw some tubes in it. That's simple to do. You only have to bust one side of the tire off, slip the tube in, and you're ready to go. I wouldn't even worry about finding mud tires or any of that baloney, because, you know, bald tires will float on mud as opposed to digging in the mud. So, and if you need any help, you can always send me a message on YouTube here, and I'll answer any questions about your first car. On that note, we'll go over a few things with the State Fair this year. I know it's the Arizona State Fair, and I only have about 5 actual people on my YouTube page, subscribers that are. Probably can count on my Arizona YouTube subscribers on one hand, whereas I'd have to count fingers and toes for everybody in Canada that watches this. Hello, Canada. But the State Fair, due to poor decisions by the Fair Board, it's only going to be one night. Normally we have 3 nights. They decided that derbies only have 1 night and 2 nights for the figure eights. Figure eights also used to be 3 nights on a different weekend. Well, they're going to try and cram it all together for idiotic reasons. I know some people might argue on here, well, it's probably a good decision. No, because their record attendance nights are always on the Demolition Derby nights, so it ain't going to go well. But, and yeah, I'm sorry for not having the dates on that. You look it up. If you can't find it, contact me. I'll tell you the dates. It will be good for the Buckeye Arizona Derby, which last year, I think I might have won that one. Not sure. But anyways, yeah, there'll be all the cars that couldn't make it to the State Fair are getting up at Buckeye. Buckeye can use it. It's called the Hells of Poppin' Arena. And they usually put on a good show. And don't put up with too much baloney out there. Plus, give you nice shirts. I know it's not one of those K73 Viking shirts, but you know, it's just as nice. Oh, and if you want a K73 Viking shirt or talk derby to me, you can go to bbdn.com. Of course, gotta put a shout out to the Booze Brothers, and you can get a shirt there. They got some awesome new stickers. Yeah, I still haven't put my order in. It's coming, guys. I'll talk to you soon, Mike. But yeah, so that's what's going on. Yeah, no derbying, no welding. 2 welders sitting idle. You know, brand new propane cutting rig, just not even hooked up yet. Brand new engine hoist, capable of 4,000 pounds, just sitting there doing nothing. So hopefully this weekend, everything on that side of the door will be done, and we can concentrate on this side. Talk to you later.